Hello, I'm Medivh the Sage, and this is 5 things you didn't know about Shadow Demon.
Come into my shadow!
You can use Disruption to dodge glimpse. This also works on allies. Disruption is affected by status resistance, but only on enemies. So, if I use it on an enemy during Aeon-Disc, it lasts very shortly. However, if I use it on an ally, as you can see I have Ceremonial Robe, and if I use it on an ally who is affected by it, the duration is going to be the same, as you can see in the combat log. As you can see, the disruption was on 55 and it ended on 58:14, 275 seconds after it was cast, even though she had less status resistance. Shadow Poison works with disruption, meaning you can both get more stacks during disruption, like this. As you can see, you got all the stacks. And also means you can do damage during disruption. There's a cool trick you can do with disruption and blink, and that is if you time enemies' damage from hits or whatever with your disruption. So like for example, if I time the hit of Disruptor while it's midair, I can always blink out before he hits me next time. Shadow Demon's Shard, Demonic Cleanse, is an incredibly strong ability. It works against a lot of spells and items in DotA, but I'm only gonna mention the most important ones. One of the more important ones being Global Silence. So if you cast it on yourself or on your ally, when Global Silence happens, you will not be silenced. Another really important one is Treant Ulti. If you cast it on an ally, he cannot be rooted. This is especially powerful because Treant Ulti goes over BKB, so if you use it on your Lifestealer or Juggernaut or a hero with BKB, they will not be rooted by Treant, which is incredibly powerful. The last thing being, you can remove Yules with the Shard as well. Meaning that you can't get Yuled during the duration, but also you can use it on allies who got Yuled, so you can get people out of Yules or Tornado or a lot of other spells by using Demonic Cleanse on them. One thing I forgot to mention is that Demonic Cleanse also prevents enemies from using Force Staff on you. As you can see, when I'm cleansed, the enemy Lina cannot Force Staff me. Demonic Purge is a really strong ability in DotA. The reason for this is that it just dispels and prevents so many strong items and spells. First, I'm gonna show you the items. The items it prevents you from using are Force, Ghost, Glimmer, Yule, and Aeon-Disc. As you can see, the Aeon-Disc does nothing. Galina still dies. The last thing I want to show you with items is that you can cast Demonic Purge on Yuled targets, as you can see. Now I will show you specific heroes that Demonic Purge is good against. It is really good versus Ursa, because during Purge he cannot use Overpower, which is his main damage ability. Secondly, it's very good versus Ember, because he cannot use Flame Guard, it also purges Flame Guard, and he is very slow, so if he uses new Remnants, he will not be able to jump to them right away. It's also really good versus Monkey, because no matter how much he hits, he cannot get Jingu Mastery off. It just gets purged off. Lastly, and this is a bit of an unconventional one, is Storm Spirit. The reason why it's really good versus Storm Spirit is because he cannot get Overload, which is the majority of this hero's damage. So if he jumps you, he does not do any damage almost. Now, Demonic Purge is already really strong, but there's an even more powerful aspect to it. It works over BKB. So if an Ember has BKB Flame Guard on, you just purge him and he loses it. And he's still very sad. The only way to really counter Demonic Purge is with status resistance, like Ursa has from ulti, or with a Lincoln Sphere. The issue with the Lincoln Sphere, though, is that you can just use your Disruption and purge it. Or, if it is too dangerous, because Disruption has a lot less range than Demonic Purge, you can just get Ags and then just purge twice the same target, because it's still worth it. Like, you would still want to purge this Ursa, because you remove him from the game. Lastly, Demonic Purge with Aghanims also breaks. This can be incredibly powerful versus heroes like Huskar, because he has Berserker's Blood, which gives him that attack speed, and you break it. It's also incredibly powerful as a Spectra, because you remove both her damage from Desolate and her tankiness from Dispersion. It's also really strong versus PA, because you remove both her evasion from Blur and her crit. Even though her crit is an ulti, it still gets broken and she cannot crit you during Purge or Break. Lastly, you can also break even some support heroes like Airchaker. And when he is broken, his Aftershock doesn't work, therefore he cannot stun you with his spells. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed, don't forget to like and subscribe.